The Ottoman Harem, a world of luxury, gold, and splendor. But behind the silk curtains, a harsh reality awaited countless women. Many were taken from their homes at a young age, their lives entirely controlled by the Sultan and the palace rules. This is the dark side of being an Ottoman concubine. Girls arrived from across the vast Ottoman Empire, often from poor families or distant provinces. Some were sold or given by families hoping for a better future, while others were chosen for their beauty, charm, or intelligence. Once inside the palace, their original identities were erased. They underwent forced conversion to Islam and were rigorously trained in music, dance, etiquette, and language. Every aspect of their life was monitored and controlled, with no contact allowed with their severed family ties. The harem was a world unto itself, isolated and self-contained. Life inside the harem was ruled by a strict hierarchy, with the Valide Sultan at the apex, wielding immense power. Below her, ranks like Haseki Sultan, Kaidan, Iqbal, and Kureyi defined each woman's status. Each woman hoped to gain the Sultan's favor, for this meant protection, privileges, and sometimes even political power. Competition was fierce, with only a fraction ever interacting with the Sultan. Jealousy and rivalry were constant companions, and subtle manipulation could determine a concubine's future. Rumors of poisonings and assassinations were not uncommon. The most beautiful or cunning could rise in rank, like Hurrem Sultan, who rose from a Ruthenian slave to marry Suleiman the Magnificent, but the cost was immense. Freedom was almost non-existent. Concubines could not leave the palace and had very limited contact with their families, living under constant surveillance by eunuchs. The lavish surroundings were a gilded cage. Every movement, every word, and every gesture was under scrutiny. The cool solidity of iron bars and the weight of heavy brocade robes were constant reminders of their captivity. Despite the luxury, the psychological strain was relentless. Isolation bred depression, with some concubines attempting suicide or living in perpetual fear of the Sultan's whims. The harem was also a place of constant fear. A mistake or disobedience could mean severe punishment, exile, or worse, such as flogging or even execution by drowning. Women were expected to entertain, please, and obey, while maintaining loyalty in a world filled with intrigue and competition. Sultan Ibrahim notoriously drowned 280 concubines in 1644 for alleged infidelity. Many lived in silent anxiety, their inner lives hidden behind smiles and grace. Only 10 to 20% might achieve favor, while most toiled as servants, dying anonymously after decades in obscurity. Some concubines eventually rose to extraordinary power, becoming Valide Sultan or influential advisors, like Kozum Sultan and Turhan Sultan, who effectively ruled as regents. But countless others lived and died in obscurity, their struggles never recorded in history. Their stories remain largely untold, lost to the annals of time. The Ottoman harem was not just a place of beauty and intrigue. It was a world of manipulation, fear, and profound loss of freedom, perpetuating slavery and gender oppression. This is the hidden reality, the dark side of being an Ottoman concubine, a complex institution that shaped lives and history until its dissolution in 1922.